Wanda Maximoff is the hero who lives and dies by her feelings. But like any hero, she also has a superhuman resilience, who is just as compelling as any standalone Marvel movie. A woman who is most dangerous when she is vulnerable, and most destructive when she is honest. This is beyond madness. Known as the Scarlet Witch in the comics, the source of Wanda's unnatural abilities stem from a twofold base: unparalleled mastery of actual magic, and an innate power to warp reality. Due to exposure to mystic energies and forces at an early age, Wanda may reshape reality to various extremes. Known as a hex in her formative years as an Avenger, the Scarlet Witch believed she used the ability to affect probabilities for a positive benefit to herself, though at times to imprecise outcomes. Later, she mastered the ability and began to understand it as a literal altering of reality. Wanda's journey to become the Scarlet Witch is not about saving the world. Like all the Avengers, she has walked the line between hero and villain before. In WandaVision, however, Wanda becomes a hero when she saves herself. WandaVision is an exploration of her most unique power: pure emotion. It is Wanda who, after seeing her parents killed, witnesses her twin brother face the same fate in Avengers Age of Ultron, must also kill her true love Vision to save the universe, only to watch Thanos reverse time and destroy Vision himself. These are moments when Wanda is a force to be reckoned with, and as we see in WandaVision, her trauma is both her greatest strength and her biggest weakness. With the first episode of WandaVision, we see Wanda and Vision living as a newlywed couple in a 1950s setting in a small town called Westview. Wanda and Vision are playing the odd couples in a monochrome sitcom setup where Wanda has magical powers and Vision is an android, as the set of the sitcom evolves continuously to different eras. In this happy family setup, there are some unusual activities or incidents happening all along that create anticipation of something dangerous coming through their way. These symbols include a strange colored helicopter in the black and white setup, and a beekeeper emerging from a manhole at the end of the second episode. Red is the color that breaks through the black and white reality. It also references Wanda's code name from the comics, the Scarlet Witch. When the show switches to color, Wanda is dressed entirely in red, similar to her comic book counterpart, as the breaks in color could refer to her coming in and out of her delusion. A part of her knows that she's in control, but she remains unsure of how she did it or how to stop it. All our questions are answered by the fourth episode through a prominent character and sword agent, Monica Rambeau, who is thrown out of Wanda's hex by Wanda herself for trespassing and distorting her perfect suburban reality. The revelation is that after Vision's death, Wanda created an alternate reality in Westview in order to eradicate her grief of losing Vision. She builds a perfect universe from her memories and establishes a perfect life with Vision. In the effort to make his reality look authentic, she created characters around her from real people. By hypnotizing them with her magic, they all become the puppets of Wanda in her own perfect world where she wanted to stay with Vision.
You have to stop her.
Stop who?
She's in my head. None of it is my own. It hurts. It hurts so much.
Anything created out of selfishness doesn't last long, and this is what happens with Wanda's Westview. Sword tries to stop her. Pietro arrives at Wanda's door, imposing as her brother, Quicksilver. Initially, Wanda fails to understand the confusion, but everything is quickly answered by her neighbor Agnes, who was in reality a witch named Agatha Harkness, who has been tampering with Wanda's creation. Agatha Harkness is in pursuit of Wanda's magic, so that she can become the most powerful witch in the world. In return, she offers Wanda to keep her little Westview and spend a happy ever after life with Vision. The ending episodes explore Wanda's struggle against Agatha and Sword, and acceptance of her own denial as she confronts Vision in the end. In WandaVision, Wanda is both the protagonist and the antagonist. There is no other conflict other than her own internal struggles. In Wanda's case, it is the grief of losing Vision too soon. If she would have been Tony Stark, she would have recreated Vision again, but she is the Scarlet Witch, and thus she acted on the best of her capabilities, i.e. chaos magic. Whatever world Wanda and Vision are living in is an anomaly that's likely a manifestation of Wanda's grief over the loss of her other half. In a moment of severe depression and grief, Wanda's powers took over and brought back a vision of her love, transforming the town around her into her safe space. Sitcoms. Her dissociative state persists well into the series, as she slowly begins to realize not only that something is wrong, but that she is the cause of it. As the episodes progress, she becomes more aware and begins to work through her trauma and grief. Wanda comes to understand that the power within her had forcibly reversed the dismantling of Vision, both figuratively and literally, and how the explosion of her emotional grief transmutes into a fantasy construction of not just Vision himself, but a contorted, historically romantic version of the life they were robbed of together by Thanos. Wanda's love for Vision isn't a symptom of her madness. She loved a real man, and her grief, which Monica recognizes, is equally real, as Wanda calls Vision a creation of her sadness and hope, and mostly my love, a character who started with good faith, but lost her way in between because she was lured with selfishness. She is driven by her childhood memories and traumas that further fuel her anger and creation. All the sitcom setup comes from her childhood admiration for them, while she was a kid in the war-stricken Sokovia. Every sitcom had a happy ending, but Wanda Maximoff never had a happy ending in her life, whether it was with her parents, or with her brother, or with Vision. Her life has been a series of losses and hardships that never seem to end. Wanda, blinded in her selfishness and grief, has forgotten that she is controlling and exploiting the real people of Westview in her mirage.
You feel at peace. We feel your pain. Your grief is poisoning us.
Vision puts the same argument in front of her, which creates a rift between the couple. And when Vision leaves the house, Wanda faces a crisis. The foundation of all her creation is weakening because the man for whom she created the warp doesn't approve of it. It is in those moments that Wanda understands the fact that love isn't all about owning, but preserving. Wanda is not the only character in the MCU to show signs of mental illness. Other characters could be Tony Stark or Thor. This is, however, the first character in the MCU whose mental illness is most represented and investigated closely. This show takes a traditional television narrative construct and places it in the scope of Wanda's emotional journey. It works to catch the audience up on missing information, both from the backstory of Wanda's past and WandaVision itself. In having Agatha manipulate Wanda through magic into visiting key memories from her own past, audiences are given a window into Wanda's psychology, as well as providing important pieces to the mystery that has propelled the series to date. Wanda's revelation is a powerful moment for invested audiences, with her first moment connecting with Vision, or her childhood self falling for the simple joys of old sitcoms. WandaVision might have been a sort of epilogue for Vision, but it also works as a Scarlet Witch origin story, or a point Wanda will be provided with a choice: come to terms with her long-standing grief and abandon the fantasy world she has devised to cope, or become Agatha. Will she be the hero or the villain of the story? This story is a beautifully carved character arc of Wanda Maximoff transforming into the Scarlet Witch. She reaps her full strength and power when she accepts the past and leads into the future. Thank you for watching. Comment down below if you want me to talk about any other character. I hope you enjoyed this analysis. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you once again, and goodbye.